Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm wearing orange today, as you can see, because it's almost Halloween. So I thought it would be cool to show you 5 of my favorite and most highly requested Halloween nail art designs ever. Think blood and spiders and creepy crawlies and everything Halloween. So I really hope you guys like the tutorials that I have in store, and let's just jump straight into it. The first design I'm going to show you how to do are these candy corn ombre nails. And so I'm starting off by applying a cleanup product, and this one is called Liquid Palisade by Quiles, but you can make your own if you like, and I do have a DIY tutorial, so I'll leave that down below in the description box. And then while that's drying, I'm grabbing a makeup sponge and going to apply some yellow, orange and white polish horizontally in 3 lines across the sponge. And now that the liquid palisade is dry, I'm going to come in and just dab that sponge with the 3 colours on it. And as you can see, those 3 colours are transferring over quite well. Now, because candy corn is quite segmented anyway, we don't want it to blend too much. So I'm trying here not to move the sponge up and down too much. We want to get a subtle blend from one colour to the other, but we want the lines to still look quite distinct. And once I'm happy with how that's blended, I'm coming in with some tweezers and just peeling off my liquid palisade. As you can see, this really does help with the cleanup process. And now here's just a little bit more peeling action, because how satisfying is that peel? Ah, so good. And then all I have to do is come in with a cleanup brush, a little bit of acetone, and just remove any excess nail polish from around the cuticles. And of course, I'm going to finish it off with a top coat. The second design I'm going to show you also involves a ombre gradient look, and it's these spooky graveyard nails. So I forgot to mention before that I always apply a white base and let that dry before I do an ombre design. And then similar to the one we just did before, I'm grabbing the 3 colours that I want to blend together for my graveyard ombre. And I've got it's actually 4 colours I'm using here. So we're going from a light sort of lilac through to a darker navy purple. I'm not going to go through this in too much detail because I do have a couple of ombre or gradient nail art tutorials on my channel, so I'll leave all of those linked down below, but you can get the gist of how I do this. Again, it's the same sort of process. So after I finish with the ombre, I've added a matte top coat, and look how nice and smooth that makes the ombre look. And I'm coming in with a fine nail art brush and some black polish and just painting a black line along the tip of the nail. This is going to be the ground of the graveyard. Then I'm coming in and just adding a rectangle shape. This is going to be a tombstone. Yes, very Halloween-y. And once I'm happy with that shape, I'm going to come in again and add a little cross to make it just like a tombstone you would see in a graveyard. And then on the other side of the nail, I'm going to add another tombstone, but this one's just going to be an ovally round shape one. And just to add a bit more of that spooky graveyard effect, I'm going to add in some trees. So I'm just coming in again with my fine nail art brush and some black polish, and just adding in some curvy black lines to look like tree branches coming out from the side. I actually really liked the effect of having the matte ombre background with the shiny black on top. So here's a couple of shots of how that looks. And I also added a normal top coat to see what that would look like as well. So comment below which look you prefer, matte or shiny. Now moving on to the next design, in true Halloween spirit, we're going to do some gross, bloody splattery nails. So I've already started with the base white again and let that dry. And then I'm coming in with my DIY peel off base coat or cleanup product, whatever you want to call it. And again, I'll leave a link to this tutorial in the description box below. And I'm just applying this around each of my cuticles, and I'll just speed it up a little bit here because you don't need to see the whole process, but basically it's just applying glue around my nails, and this is going to be really helpful in the cleanup process. But look how much glue there is. So while that's drying, I'm going to grab a straw and just chop off a little bit from the end, and of course it goes flying across the room. So I'm just going to pick that up, and I'm going to put some red nail polish down on a piece of paper, and also add a bit of a darker red as well, because I think that kind of gives that bloody effect just by mixing those two shades, but really you only need to use one shade of red. So I'm dipping the end of the straw into that red polish and just making sure that the end is completely coated in polish. And then the next step is really fun. All you have to do is just blow on the end of the straw, not the end with the polish, of course, the other end, the clean end. And you can see the polish just splatters all over your nails. So you want to be careful not to do this too far away because you don't want the polish to go everywhere. And after each splatter, you want to dip the straw back into the nail polish. And so once I'm happy with that splatter effect, I'm going to come in with some tweezers and peel off my own DIY cleanup product, and look how easy this is to get off. It's just such a handy tool to have, and it really does save you some time. So then all I have to do to clear off the rest is come in with a cleanup brush and some acetone and just remove any excess polish around my cuticles, and then as always finish it off with a top coat. The next design I'm going to show you is this cute little spider and cobweb. We're going to start off with the cobweb, and I'm going to do a straight line down the center of the nail in black. Again, I had a white base already done and dried beforehand. And then I'm going to add a line in the opposite direction, so horizontally across the center of the nail. And then we're going to do the same diagonally, so pretty much a star shape or an asterisk shape across the whole nail. And then I'm just coming in and slightly touching this up a bit because, as you know, I'm a perfectionist and I didn't want the lines to be too thick, and the brush I was using made them just slightly too thick for my liking. So once I've fixed that up, I'm then going to connect each of the straight black lines with a smaller curved line, if that makes sense. So this will create the classic cobweb or spiderweb shape. And then I'm going to do the same thing again, but just slightly further out. So again, then I'm just touching up any little bits of nail polish around my cuticles with a cleanup brush and some acetone. And finishing it off with a top coat. My hand was kind of covering this shot, so I'm sorry about that. But yes, I did add a top coat to finish it off. And moving on to the little spider, we're again going to add a straight line down the center of the nail, but I'm finishing it about halfway down the nail this time. And then I'm going to just draw a little oval or round circle shape. It doesn't really matter exactly how it is in the center of the nail. This is going to be the body of the spider. And then I'm just giving the little guy some creepy crawly legs. So I'm just adding 4 little curved lines from each side of the spider's body with a fine nail art brush and some black polish. And of course he needs some eyes, so I'm coming in with a small dotting tool and some white polish and just adding 2 little white dots for the eyes. And you don't have to do this, but I also just added some tiny little pupils with an even finer or even smaller dotting tool and some black polish. And of course, again, finish it off with a top coat. Now, last but not least, we're going to do this Halloween themed dotacure. I've already started off by painting my nails black and letting that dry. And then I'm coming in with some white polish and a dotting tool and adding some white spots on the nail. Now, I've chosen to do all different size spots, but you can keep them the same. It's really up to you. And once that's dry, I'm then coming in with some different shades of orange, purple, and green, and just doing the same size dots over each of the white spots. So the idea around this is that the white behind each color will really make that color pop, so it won't disappear with the black base. And of course, again, finishing it off with a top coat. This will seal in the design and make it last longer. I really hope you guys liked those tutorials and got some inspiration for yourselves of what you want to do for your nails for Halloween. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you're new to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which hopefully will be really soon. Bye!